Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox. Forza Motorsport got its start on the original Xbox and set itself up as a hit racing exclusive series for Microsoft. Selling well, it was no doubt that Forza would make its way to the Xbox 360. Yet it is there where it truly made its stand as a standout Xbox franchise. Today we're talking about the follow-up, Forza Motorsport 2. I played through it recently and today I'm going to give you some history and a review. All footage was captured off of an Xbox 360, and I want to thank my YouTube channel members for their support. But let's go ahead and hop into this one. The first Forza Motorsport launched on the original Xbox in North America on May 3rd, 2005. It was a late exclusive release since the 360 was right around the corner. It was to that point that the same month of its release, there were already talks about the sequel making its way to the 360, but nothing was concrete yet. Yet with the success of the original, which even earned platinum hit status on the Xbox, you know Microsoft had to push developer Turn 10 Studios to make a sequel for the next console. There would be no news until its E3 2006 premiere, though there was no playable demo. A trailer would preview the customization options for the upcoming racing game. When talking about it, they would promote it alongside the new wireless racing wheel for the 360, noting that the game was developed alongside it. It all came with a proposed holiday 2006 release. Leading into the end of 2006, some development details would leak out, such as how the cars and AI would be better balanced for difficulty in this new entry. Another big focus was an improvement on audio. The sound team did extensive work going from racetrack to racetrack, planting mics where they could, putting mics in all types of pit stops, capturing the sounds of engines and even collisions. In an interview, they even talk about trying to capture the perfect sound of paint scraping onto another car. After making the rounds at showcases, Turn 10 announced that the game was being pushed to a Q1 2007 release. It was evident that it wasn't finished when it was shown off and was only 60% complete in 2006. It had been assumed that February was its release month, as they would go around showing all the various cars and upgrades the game was making. Yet another delay would hit, pushing the game into May 2007, but that release date would stick. Forza Motorsport 2 would come out in North America on May 29th, 2007. The copy I have right here is a later re-release that came packed with Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which is a great bundle. Forza would come to Europe and Australia in June of 2007. I personally have played this one before, but not much. It was a game I picked up, played a few races, but I got it way later than it came out, and my focus was on other racers at the time, so I didn't quite have an opinion on this one yet. Yet, now that I played it extensively, let me break down how I felt about it, starting with the gameplay. Forza Motorsport 2 came out around the same time Project Gotham Racing was still releasing as a Microsoft exclusive franchise, so the big question is, what sets these two apart? The main thing is that this is a stronger simulation approach. When you pick up your car and get out on the track, there is more nuance to its handling and design. This comes into play with the amount of customization this game has. Not only does this game offer an extensive amount of paints and ways to customize the look of your car, but you can also upgrade how the car runs, from engine upgrades to getting the weight down. These are small touches, along with tuning your car, that will help get it into stronger ranking races. These small customization touches help give this game a simulation feel where every movement feels different, and you can feel the difference in the handling of different vehicles. Perfect for any car fan looking to tinker around. Yet one reason Forza Motorsport 2 works so effectively is that there isn't much of a barrier to get in. Though the approach is simulation-based, the handling is never out of hand. It feels different in every car, yet there is no car too heavy to drive. All vehicles have an arcade approach where you can pick it up and play, but you can also customize to your heart's content and change the feel of it, but you never sacrifice the fun. I never once felt like I had no grip on how a car felt, and that was something I loved. Swapping between vehicles for all races, it worked well and it was extremely fun. There are no gimmicks tied to races either. You get out onto the track, and it's a basic race against others. You take on tracks, pass opponents, and try for first. Racing feels excellent not only because of the superb handling, but also because of the solid assist system here. You get a great braking line, which is one of my favorite elements, giving you a general guide on where you need to be when you're racing and what speed to take on turns. You can also have traction control and ABS, and if you have those on, it's nice, but if you turn them off, you get a nice bonus to your earnings from a race, asking you to test the waters and slowly get more confident in your skills. The AI on the track is solid too, though they mostly do their own thing, taking the course at their own pace with their own line. There was a lot of hype for the AI here, and I can tell they are technically sound, but it really doesn't show unless you play on the hardest difficulty. At the normal difficulty, this game is straightforward and easy. The AI on normal will let you pass with room to spare, so if you need a bit more challenge and some more fun AI, go for the hard difficulty. There isn't much to complain about with the core gameplay here. It's pure fun racing with solid controls. My only main issue is the number of tracks here. This comes into play more in the following section on game modes. Yet there are a lot of tracks that just do the reverse of it, and I caught myself doing the same track over and over. It's a mix of unique and real courses, and the actual design is something I don't mind. All of them offer solid layouts and feature excellent realistic paths. Yet I just wish there were more tracks here because I couldn't help replaying the same track over and over, which is normal for a racing game, but here it felt like there just wasn't quite enough. Though not nearly enough to ruin anything, Forza's simulation yet simple in approach is addictive, and the gameplay is challenging to get down, but it's always fun. Forza is split into two main modes, one of which is the arcade mode and the other is career. Arcade mode has you either tackling time trials for each course or tackling a race with every course. This is the simplest mode and has you just hopping straight into the game for some quick fun. This is a simple good time, and as you complete races and time trials, you unlock cars, giving you a nice sense of progression. The real meat of the game though is in the career mode. This has you picking a country and getting a car from that country. You take that car to different tournaments, each of which will award you credits and vehicles. You can take the prize cars or buy cars with your credits, and then you can race into many more tournaments, or you can take those credits and upgrade your vehicles to get into some other tournaments. What I like here is that you can't have one souped up car though. Each tournament has specifications, so you need different vehicles, and they vary wildly. So you always have to race with something you're not comfortable with, which is what I love to see. There's so much content here too. There are plenty of tournaments with tons of races, yet the lack of track variety persists. Grinding through these can get a bit tiring because you see the same track design over and over, especially when you get into the latter game here, where tracks will have lap totals that are upwards to 20 minutes all around, and that's not including the endurance races, which ask you to race for 45 laps for almost an hour. Luckily for those who can hire drivers to run them for you, they just take a cut of your pay. Yet, that's where the grind settles in. You level up from races with money, and you have to unlock tournaments by leveling up. I'd say level 25 and up to 50, the amount of credits needed is exceptionally high. You will be grinding out extremely long races to unlock more stuff, and that grind is where the game loses me a bit. Granted, I got 20 plus hours of fun out of this game, and since it's not story-based, I'd say finding a place to settle down and stop playing is good, and 20 hours is significant for a racing game. And after that point, it feels like a racing game that I would just pick up for an hour if I wanted to get some races in and grind away at that level 50 grind. I'd say that's a great place to be, and the fact that there is even more content is great. You just have to note that it is going to take upwards to 100 hours if you want to 100% do everything in this game. There's also online for this game, and some of it is still up while others are down. For one, back in the day, there was an auction house where people sold cars peer-to-peer, but that is gone now. There's also Forza TV, which lets you watch highlights of races, and that's no longer accessible. Unfortunately, I did not play this game online in its heyday, so I'm really unable to comment on a lot of these elements, so it's up to you to go to the comments and let me know how the online experience was so we can get a full picture of everything. However, leaderboards are still up, and I always love a good leaderboard. Competing against best times is always awesome, and here you can download the tunes of other cars on the leaderboards so you can drive exactly like someone at the top. The online is still usable today, and I want to give a shout out to Printmatic who came in and helped me play some of these games, along with the random who popped up as well. The online here is underwhelming overall. You get either a career mode race where you can earn money towards your career levels, or an arcade mode which is not tied to your career at all. There are no special game modes or anything like that. It's simply just racing online, and it works fairly well overall. Luckily, the arcade mode allows for AI racers, so it can make lobbies feel full, where you can race as a team and you need to get higher placements together, which does spice up the racing a bit. Yet it is very simple for the most part. It's fun enough, but nothing worth trying to set up a full lobby for nowadays. Motorsport 2 is a visual standout for 2007. This was an incredible year for the 360, and this is just another great part of that puzzle. Out on the course, the car designs are all extremely sleek, from the paint to the tires. I love just seeing them in motion. The reflections that scroll across the tops of cars are really lovely, along with the lighting that hits them. There's no weather or day and night cycle, so it's bright all the time, which I think is a bit disappointing, but it's not a huge negative. It made the great lighting always shine, and it led to some beautiful vistas. The tracks themselves are lovingly designed and has many tracks from the real world that we have seen plenty of times in other games, and they're well designed and recognizable. I particularly like the pavement and all of the tire marks that go across it. The background views are solid too, with some awesome skyboxes. Yet, I personally love the non-realistic tracks that have a really strong personality to them. I really like the Maple Valley tracks with its lush trees, and it shows off some great shadow work. The biggest issue for me, though, was the frame rate. I'm usually unbothered by frame rates as long as they're consistent, but this one isn't. I constantly found the frame rate dropping when going fast in races. It was never a slow chug, but it was this noticeable shift that detracted from the overall quality of the game. Something about the game moving back and forth between frame rates in some of the more intense races just didn't work for me. It's not detrimental to the game. It was definitely still playable and fun, but it wasn't consistent. Before I even read how much work went into the audio in this game, I knew it was awesome. The sounds of the cars are excellent. I love the way all the engines give off different tones and the squealing of the tires and the brakes. Though a game can get by without all these details, yet here you can see how much better a game can be with those small details. That audio difference makes every car that much more unique. Audio in general is an integral part of cars, and here that excellence is captured. I noticed it when I had my first in-game crash. See, I was actually in a wreck recently, and this was almost a comfort game dealing with it. I started it up pretty soon after. Racing games and stress for me usually go together because it's something really easy to focus on and I don't have to think about a lot. Yet after that happened and I got hit by someone in this game, I remember how much it sounded like the real accident. You could tell they took their time to make something like that realistic, and there was something about that I found really impressive. Same with the scraping of paint on cars and small car sputtering noises. Seriously, the audio here is amazing. There are licensed tracks here too, but they're mostly in the menus. There's some fun picks like LCD Sound Systems, the Chemical Brothers, and CSS, to name a few. They were fun to go back to between races, yet the races themselves are quiet. Something I like is that allows you to focus on the audio and gameplay. Some might not love that there's no music actually in the game, but there's always room to play your own music on the side. Personally, I thought it allowed you to focus on the great details of the cars. Now it's time to talk about the achievements, which have no bearing on my final review, but they're fun to talk about. There are 44 achievements in this game, and it's a very grindy one. I did not go for the 100% here, but if you did, True Achievements estimates it would take 150 to 200 hours to complete. The bulk of your achievements are for achieving a lot of what the game has under the career mode. You need to win a gold medal in the career mode from each section. Each section has races blocked behind a level limit, and they're generally high. You you need to be at least in the 40 to 50 level range, and the amount of money you need to get there takes hours upon hours to complete. So with this game, you're going to have to lock in and play absolutely everything. You can get higher yields on the 45 lap races, but that's an hour of racing. You can also hire a driver, but they take half your cut, leaving you with quite a grind no matter what you do. I personally don't have the time to focus on a game for 200 hours, so reaching those high levels just wasn't for me. You also need to buy every car from every region, which is a significant investment. It's another one that is locked behind being a high level. This already knocks out most of the achievement list. There are achievements for completing the arcade mode and beating part-time in each time trial, which I did. There are also a few fun miscellaneous achievements for winning with no assists or winning with a really low ranked car, which isn't hard when the AI is this easy. I got these, but the grindy ones I just could not find myself doing, at least right now. It seems like something I will work at over time. So even though I played a lot, I only came out of this one with 14 achievements. I'm not alone though. On True Achievements, this game only has 3% of the people who started it having every achievement. Many of these achievements are low earned, but the rarest of the bunch is the most grindy achievement, and that's 1 million credits online, something that gets harder to do as years go by and feels like the biggest grind for most people, with only 4% of players having this achievement. On top of all this, there's one achievement tied to the auction house, which isn't up anymore, meaning this game has one unobtainable achievement, so you cannot 100% this game anymore. Forza Motorsport 2 is a standout racing game for the Xbox 360. For those who were looking for something more simulation-focused on the Xbox, this had to have been a go-to choice in 2007. It's a sleek-looking game, plays wonderfully, and overall has a great attention to detail. I found it to be quite addictive, and there were days where I was glued to this game with these great-feeling races. The only thing that holds it back a bit is the grindy late game and an inconsistent frame rate. Yet, I think those are marginal in the grand scheme, making for an excellent racing experience that you should check out if you have a 360. I have now reviewed 30 360 games here on the channel, and Forza Motorsport is going to rank at number 4 out of all of them. I put it above Project Gotham Racing 3 because I feel like Forza is more of a complete and unique racing experience, which I feel I'd be more willing to go back to. Though I would say this one's very close. I still do have PGR4 at number 2 though, because I feel that's the epitome of a great racer on the 360, and it's one I greatly admire. Condemned is also above Motorsport 2 because that's an amazing singular horror experience and has a plot and gameplay style that strikes me as unique, and that will stick with me a lot longer, whereas Forza Motorsport is a technically excellent game, but it doesn't have that same lasting power. Forza Motorsport 2 received universal acclaim on Metacritic, scoring a 90. IGN gave it an 8.9, saying it had brilliant physics and customization options, but lacked soul or energy to make it an excellent game. Electronic Gaming Monthly writers would give it 2 8.5s and a 9. All of them enjoyed it, but there were notes about the lack of track selection and a sterile feeling, though they loved the depth of customization. Official Xbox Magazine would give it an 8.5, saying that the handling was perfect and there was a ton to do, but they hated the graphics, thinking that it was not a standout looking game by any means. The sales for this game would be absolutely insane, with an estimated 4 million copies sold. This game would get a Platinum Hits release from these sales and plenty of repackages like the one I owned. Forza had leaped ahead in public perception, and these kinds of sales would rocket it to Microsoft's flagship racing franchise and a highly recognizable series in all of gaming. This of course would mean that Turn 10 would turn right around and get ready for a sequel, which is a story we will have to continue with that review. Public reception is now positive still. It seems to be high, with many praising this game whenever I see it pop up. I see it in my comments quite a bit. On Backlog, 978 gamers have claimed to have played it, and it has an average score of 3.5 out of 5. There are plenty of glowing reviews in the review section. I would also love to hear from all of you though. I think your opinions are important, and I want to know how you felt about this one, whether you loved it or hated it. But that does wrap it up for today, and if you enjoyed this review, please leave a like. It really helps me on the algorithm. Subscribe to keep up with more retro Xbox content, and check out my second channel, Camp Extras, for more gaming content. And I want to give a huge shout out to my YouTube channel members. Thank you so much for your support. You really help out the channel, and I'll see you here next time at Camp Xbox.